Hello to everyone on this channel. This is KJ with KJ Spiritual Astrology. I'm here for a little reading. Oh my goodness. Here we are in January 2026. We are finishing up the year of the snake. People are talking about finishing up the shedding of skin, letting go of the old identity, because we're going to roll with the new. So whatever happened in the past is the past, okay? The past is the past. Here we have death. We have death, okay? We have the hierophant. That could be about organized religion not being significant anymore. The Four of Cups. We have the Three of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Chariot, as well as the Six of Pentacles. All right. Maybe you do have something you can give. Maybe there's something you truly can give. You know what I mean? There is some way you can be generous. Maybe you can't do it with money. Generosity is not always money. Sometimes it's sharing your wisdom. It's, you know, understanding that we all have something to offer, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe not everyone sees your value. Maybe people just want to take your funds, your resources. But what about your spiritual resources? What about that? We've got 4, 5, 6. We got the Nine of Swords, and we've got the Ten of Swords. Like a complete cycle, you know what I mean? Oh, the Hermit. We can just benefit from going within for the answers, you know what I mean? For me, as a Pisces, I understand that Mercury is going to go into Pisces, especially at the beginning of, here we have the Tower, especially at the beginning of my solar year, which is coming up in February. We are getting really close to that time period. So, I mean, what's happening right now really does matter. Here we have surrender. Yeah, just surrender to the process. Here we have the past leaving. Okay, let go of that past energy. Even if you have retrogrades in your chart and the potential for past people to come back around, we got to let go. We got to let go of the past. If something returns back to you, it can come in with new energy. So we're not trying to be in, you know, a situation where, you know, we're not open to positivity and, you know, a fresh start or any of those things. But we also need to be true to our own path. And, you know, in situations where people are gaslighting each other and one person has to be right, the other person has to be right, everyone has to be right. Okay? In situations like that, you know, don't be shrinking. You can't shrink in your personal experience. You can't make yourself small. That's not the answer in your situation in life. Making yourself small, shrinking, doing that savior mentality, not the answer. You want to see what other people are capable of doing. You don't need to be solving everybody's problems. You know what I mean? If you were not good enough to, you know, play in all the games, you know, if you were only supposed to be the scapegoat, and if you were, you know, in situations that were unfair, that represented survival, that's not where you're at if you're in the new era. I know paying attention to the North Node and where your North Node is in your chart is really going to make a difference, because, you know, we should be clearing out that past energy. You know, we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect, okay? You look at the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces. The South Node in Virgo is about the perfection, while the North Node in Pisces is about faith, belief, the bigger purpose, the bigger picture. So, you know, if you're choosing to believe in what's ahead, you know, you want to believe in the transformation of a situation. We don't transform any situation by staying in it. People step away. So there's no quick fixes. There's no quick fixes with this card, the Hierophant. There's not a quick fix. Okay? You know, people can want to believe in there being a quick fix. You know, they can feel like, you know, recruiting a new person makes everything better. But, I mean, the past is still there. It doesn't go away. And there's people that they consider, maybe they do consider their karma in a situation, or maybe they think, if I talk the other party into choosing to be there and choosing to participate and choose to do things my way, then things will work out. But then you have a situation where life is more complicated than that. Other people have needs, and it's not just about one group. There's multiple groups that we deal with Pluto and Aquarius. So group thinking relates not just to your group, but to all of the groups. So we're not all part of the same group. You know, we're interconnected, you know, but you know, there is just something going on with, you know, there being division and, you know, alternate points of view. There's, you know, more than one way to look at situations. So, I mean, it's not that we don't care, but we have to tend to our own life, our own health, our own well-being, and being available to people who don't respect you. It's not always a good thing, especially if, let's say, your North Node is in Libra. You're supposed to be transforming situations. So if you pull that old energy into the new era, where you create situations you just have to survive, you're dealing with that old energy. So that old energy where you know, you're surviving with the South Node in Aries, that would not work. So, I mean, it depends on where your North and South Node are in your astrology chart, which relate to how we're going to proceed, you know, with our life. You know what I mean? You know, we're in a new era. We're going about things in a new way. We have our own stuff to tend to. We don't need to tell everybody what's going on within our group. We can keep secrets. We can keep things within the safety of our own environment. We don't have to leak any information to other groups of people that they don't need to know about. So, you know, there's boundaries around your own path and what it is you think you should be doing. For me, I think about the North Node in Libra, about thriving inside and outside of relationships. So, we want to see people do well. We care about their wellness, but we also care about the wellness of ourselves. And, you know, ultimately, you know, your own partnerships need to be healthy and positive. And it's not so much about, it's not so much about the people pleasing. You don't need to please everybody. You know, if people leave you in charge of patterns, or, you know, you have that Uranus and Gemini energy coming through this year in 2026, we have the possibility that siblings deal with each other, but maybe parents don't. So maybe people are keeping track of your environment when you're not aware of, you know, them looking over your shoulder. You know, which people are curious. They like to look in. They want to look in. They want to look over your shoulder. They want to know what's going on. So let's not pretend. It's about allowing whatever it is. We don't have to pretend. We can allow. I mean, things are going to be the way they will be. I mean, we can't necessarily control Uranus and Gemini. That's about releasing control. The only thing that's going to be sure is the sudden change and the change of direction. And, you know, we don't have control over everything that happens. So essentially, people have a wake-up call in 2026. You know, there's reshuffling, reprioritizing. There's new people to factor in. There's new situations. Okay, things are not necessarily logical. But, you know, we let go of the heartache. We let go of situations that go unresolved. Okay? We have fate and destiny. Whatever is going to happen with fate and destiny, and where it is that you're going. You know, because you're going towards something. You know, there's something new, you know, coming in with the new era. People are going to go about their business in their own way, you know, and that's okay. So, I mean, we're letting go of obligation to take care of somebody else's group. You know, if you were told you weren't good enough to be in a certain group and be around certain people, and then, you know, you're expected to step up, that puts you in a strange situation, especially since you have your own priorities. You need to have the ability to let go, detach, to go about your business. So, you know, we're allowing the mystery. We're allowing the mystery. We're letting go of fear. Why do we need to fear? You know, we're integrating the lessons. Okay? People will tell you that the old ways are the best ways. That's not necessarily true. The old ways are not the best ways. Okay, I feel like sharing resources or sharing gifts. You could be sharing your gifts, your spiritual gifts. You know, you let go of fear of missing out with certain situations. There's other people you're capable of helping. And you know that the other parties will be doing the same. They're going to be helping the new people. They're going to be there for the new people. You know, they feel like they're at their prime, so they're, you know, doing what they can with the rest of their life. You know, it's prime time to be busy and to be doing things, new things. So, you know, you have the past leaving. I am happy to be free of the problems of the past, and I welcome new experiences. Okay, so yeah, we very well could be coming up on new blessings, and you can't have the new blessings if you're trying to hold on to the old. I let go of what no longer serves me to make space for new beginnings. Okay, so yeah, if you have a past history of survival and a past history of lack and poverty and people not treating you right, you let that energy go because you don't want to carry it with you. Okay, here we have surrender. Regardless of the outcome, I am taken care of. The angels want you to know that you need not worry about the resolution of the current situation. Instead of trying to solve the problem with sheer force, trust you will get exactly what you need. No matter the outcome of the uncertain situation, you are taken care of. So, yeah, it comes down to faith. Again, we have the North Node in Pisces now. And we need to have faith. We need to have faith. And so we're not forcing any situations. We're not forcing things to be fair in, you know, a situation. We let go of that. We take leadership for what we can control. We, you know, try to feel empowered, to feel that we have some control, that we're not powerless, we're not victims. Again, we want transformation in our lives, and the way we go about that is we let that old energy go. You go within for the answers. Not everything needs to be solved overnight. Yeah, you can skip a karmic cycle. You don't have to go back and forth with people and you know, hear about how you're allowed to be in the picture if you do this and this and this and that. Okay, well, you have your own worries. Everybody has their own worries. So, I mean, sometimes we just let go of the entire situation. We're not trying to shrink ourselves down to fit someone else's idea. I mean, if you're doing what's right for your group, plus their group, plus yourself, plus, you know, I mean, that's just too much. That's a recipe for burnout. So we can't be burning ourselves out. And because we can't be burning ourselves out, we choose what to let go of. And we just surrender to the process because that's what you have to do. We all have soul groups and soul experiences, and you know, some of us need to step into the new identity, the new reputation, the new persona, and we let go of the old stuff because it's not helpful to be subject to other people's opinions and be defined by anything in the past in a negative way. You change your perspective to be positive, and you know, in being realistic to whatever went on in the past, it does have a role in what happens in the future. Like if you were unempowered with your empathy, learn to be empowered. If you were offending people with your intuition, and your intuition wasn't a source of positivity in the past, you want to flip the script and you want things to be better. And so essentially, the empowerment is important in 2026. We want to be empowered. We want to shed that old skin and we want to move forward. So that's my message. That's my message for the Pisces collective. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of this week.